My name is Marcus. We're from Community Online, and we would like to know what the Youth Assembly actually is.
Okay. My name is Carolyn. I'm a co-coordinator of the committee in the Youth Assembly this year. And the THIMUN Youth Assembly is essentially, it differs from THIMUN by the fact that people come to represent their own ideas and own beliefs, and we essentially spend 1 week with these people trying to develop projects that will help them in their community, and they can devise a project which they are interested in, which usually links to the theme of the committee they're in, which would, for example, be youth and social tension, sustainable development, freedom of speech and media, and then they get to devise their own projects relevant to that, and we help them guide them with that.
It's quite interesting. I mean, Youth Assembly is, I think, a truly unique THIMUN project, or is it actually a THIMUN project, or is it just linked to THIMUN and it's completely run on its own?
We are linked to THIMUN in the sense that the THIMUN Youth Assembly is only a small part of the THIMUN Youth Network, which is essentially we go to international conferences as well, such as Rio Plus 20. We're looking at going to the World Water Forum this year, I believe, and some others, and CSD, which is the Commission for Sustainable Development, and we are accredited to go there through the THIMUN organization. So that is how we're linked with THIMUN. And the idea there also is that people, because THIMUN is only for students, whereas TYA is also open for anyone between 16 and 25, I believe. So that makes it more intended for people that have sort of gone on beyond simply doing the theoretical aspects of the United Nations and would like to go on representing their own ideas. And TYA is sort of an introduction point as well to TYN, the network.
But the topics are linked to the conference topics, or are they completely separate?
The topics are linked to, UN topics, because as I said, we're accredited to the UN ECOSOC conferences through THIMUN. And so the topics you'll find will be similar to those discussed in THIMUN assemblies, but they're less specific. As I said, for example, this year we had 2 committees. One was youth and sustainable development, and the other was youth, media, and free speech. Youth, freedom of speech, and media. And so then we give our participants a lot of choice what they want to do within those committees. For example, we had one group from Jordan that are looking at a freedom of speech issue that is relevant to their own country, whereas another participant in my group, the sustainable development one, has devised a project to make his own school cafeteria more eco-friendly. So it's very much up to them what they want.
Okay. And so, and how many? Well, it's not students. Is it like, are they college students or?
At the moment, I think this year we had mainly school students, usually seniors, a few juniors. Last year we had a number of students that were actually, I think, just about to study, or I was here last year as a participant at TYA as well, and I was actually currently doing a gap year then, so it really varies from year to year. There's no way we can sort of generalize that, but it's usually senior students or sometimes juniors, so students like, as I said, 16 and up, and some younger university students.
Okay, and how many do we have right now?
This year, unfortunately, we had a bit of a smaller committee than usually. We have a total of 12 or 13 participants, I'm not sure, but we are aiming for more, and there have been TYAs with a number of more participants. I'm currently not sure of the number. You'd have to ask from the other Sven about that.
And well, that's quite interesting because you have like really relevant topics and topics that can be realized and put into practice. And how can you get into the Youth Assembly? How can you apply?
You can apply. There's a link on the THIMUN website. That's very simple. You just go to the THIMUN website, and there on the THIMUN website there is definitely a link to our website, which is the TYN website, and there's all the information given. I think it's very easy. It's laid out right.
Okay, one last question now. We'll use what makes Youth Assembly is such a unique thing, and why should young students participate?
Youth Assembly is such a unique thing because we do not prescribe in any way what they're going to do. We are there to offer guidance and to help people realize their own ideas. And that is really what we do. That is what we do at the conference as well. We have a policy, at the conference we go to as well, we have a policy of no policy. So we are essentially youth negotiators. And so that is what really makes it unique, that you get, if you go to Youth Assembly, you get a chance to develop your own projects with the ideas that are relevant to you and where you feel strongly.
Hi, my name is Marcus from Community Online. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi. Can you all just introduce yourself, what you're doing in Youth Assembly, what your project is like, and in how far these aims itself are then put into practice?
Well, I'll start. I'm Maria. I'm from Spain, and I'm doing my project. I'm in the media and freedom of speech committee, so I'm doing with my friend a project about religion. Because in Spain, religion is very censored in the way that we only have or nothing or Christianity, so we don't really have the option. And what we're trying is to get to go for religion like as knowledge and not as a way of life. So that's what we're trying to do with our project, is to get knowledge to be religion and be able to have these spaces to talk with freedom of speech about everything. So that's what we want to achieve.
Okay, and so you come here and you're debating now this idea together with all the other members of the Youth Assembly?
Yeah, we participate in everything all together.
And how does it work then? I mean, you come in here with the ideas, and do you present your ideas, and how is the setup of the Youth Assembly?
Well, first we spend a couple days planning our ideas, essentially like finalizing our content and what we actually want to do with our local community to help increase, well, for her, the media awareness, and for me, I did sustainable development. So we would plan ahead, and then after we plan, we have a presentation for everyone else in both meetings, and we present our ideas, and we ask questions, how we can improve it, and what we think other ideas to viable to our opinions will be.
Okay, you just said you have sustainability as a topic. Can you just briefly introduce what it exactly means in your community?
Sustainable development is when you, well, there's three pillars of sustainable development. There is the economic pillar, environmental, and the social, political pillar. It essentially means that to satisfy the current needs without harming anything for the future generations. So essentially we provide exactly what we need for the current population while still maintaining some things for the future.
Okay, where are you coming from?
I'm from Malaysia.
Okay.
THIMUN International School in Malaysia.
Oh, right. And how do you put the things, your ideas into practice? How do you realize the aims?
To realize my aims,
Yeah.
I thought in the local community that I live in, it's within the Montclair area. It's actually a group is at my school. My friend started last year. It's called MIGO, Central Malaysia Global Outreach. We focus on various aspects in our community. So we plant trees, we educate the native, the uneducated. We clean waterfalls and do a lot of various service activities. My goal is here is to expand this project to other schools, such as the ISKL International School of Kuala Lumpur and the DSKL, the Dutch School of Kuala Lumpur, or Garden International School, all neighboring schools that we have a close association with.
Sounds great. And how about you? And can you just briefly also introduce yourself and what you're doing?
Of course. I'm Cansu. I'm from Turkey. I go to American high school in Turkey, Izmir. My school is American College Institute. I'm in the community of freedom of speech and media. And my project proposal is about homosexuals about the age of 18, between the ages of 18 and 42, going through a psychological phase with military service, because it's mandatory to do that. And my project's aim is to create a young community that supports homosexuals and cares about them and embraces them for being themselves. and stands for their rights. So how I'm going to do is to create volunteering blogs and organize events with bicycling, basically, and just show them support.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, how can you come here and you're debating now the problems, the ideas you have, and how far do you get support from all the other members of the Youth Assembly? Okay.
Okay, all the members in the Youth Assembly are very supportive, and our coordinators are doing their best to help us with our projects. And if we have any questions or we need any contacts to actually achieve our projects, they'd be willing to help. And also we have contacts from our previous experiences, so with that we are able to achieve them, and we try to keep our projects as real as possible.
Okay, how about you?
Like you stated, our coordinators Sven, Caroline, and Kelsey, they said that we need help contacting, getting support, or getting guest speakers, and whatever we possibly need. They'll try to put the name of TYN behind us and help encourage these people to come and support our cause.
I'm gonna add something,
Yeah.
and it's that being here, it's we get to know us personally. I know each one of them, so it's much easier to get to have this support. Because when you're in THIMUN, there's many people, but us being so few, it's you get to support and really make yours their ideas too. So you really get to help and want to help you get involved. And I'm really happy with my idea because it affected me because I didn't have the chance, so I want people to have the chance to get to learn about many different religions. That's what we aim for. And it's great, all the support we've received. I mean, they really liked our project, they really understood, and they really supported. So it's awesome, and it gives you more
Confidence.
yeah, you're confident and you really want to do that because it's awesome the way they help us. So it's great.
Sounds super. One last question. I mean, you said you get a lot of support and you've worked for the years, and how could you convince a person that has never heard of Youth Assembly to go there and to work with you? Because I think the work you're doing and the ideas and the projects you have are really, really great. How could you tell other people and convince them to go there?
The best way I believe to convince someone is to make them understand that we're actually doing something important. We're not just sitting there and debating certain ideas from someone else's point of view. We take our own point of view on society as we see it, and then we implement our point of view, and we try to better our society as a whole. Our action plans, we're actually going back to implement them in where we're from. It's not just brief comments in the air about something that's irrelevant to yourself.
Yeah.
We actually take ideas or get to develop something, and we actually get to try and aim for it. We try to imply it at least in our societies. I mean, it's really difficult and different. It depends on the part of the world you live on. It's not the same for me in Spain as for her in Turkey or here in Malaysia. It's so different. So you have to be realistic and know what you can do in the part of the world you're living in. So you have to be really confident with that, but you have to be careful too. So you have to be, I mean, for her, for example, she's doing this super big project of futures. I mean, it's awesome. It's not the same as me because it's, yeah, I mean, but we try to make things realistic, and it's awesome for me. I think everybody should try this, and you should be able to express your ideas and make them real because it's awesome. We're the future. I mean, we have to do something. We have to move on.
I definitely recommend Youth Assembly for young adults who like to participate in international conferences and be a part of the community that's so diverse. And the atmosphere is obviously very encouraging, and it contributes to your personality a lot. And I think it inspires a lot of young minds for future projects, and I think it's so good for our future and to better our world.
Carefully, everything you really get to understand. I mean, people don't really get that much the idea, and seeing this is amazing. She said it's really pessimistic, but I think it's the way that we they can get to us, like being, like shocking us and making us see that that's what is really happening. So we have to really do something because it's our fault. So it's in our hands.
YA creates projects to take back to your local community because we are the small percentage that actually is aware of those issues. I know half the people at university, my university is considered a green university. We are sustainable. We do use solar power to heat our water, but still a lot of people are unaware of the toxins that do go into products we use every day. Autism is on the rise. That has skyrocketed in the last 10 years.
They keep blaming on vaccinations when it's probably just the consumer products you take in every day.
Exactly.
Story of cosmetic. I mean, it was created by her again. She talks about how the cosmetic we use, the shower gel, makes the male to like the number of male to be used weaker. Like they are more like female fishes than the male fishes. So now they decline in population. So we really don't know the consequences of those toxins.
Right now, I'm the current president of Youth Assembly, and pretty much what Youth Assembly is participants before the conference will have a problem within their community that they want to address, and during the conference itself is when they will come and work together as a group with other participants, with coordinators, and with EXCO, the Executive Committee, and they will work on a project proposal to carry out that when they go back, they can actually carry out within their community that will attempt to solve the problem.
I'm the chairperson of the THIMUN Youth Network. That's a larger entity of which THIMUN Youth Assembly is only one small part. Pretty much the THIMUN Youth Network, we give the opportunity to go to United Nations conferences. We have accreditation to the UN ECOSOC, and we have the ability to go to United Nations conferences, and as a youth, we try to have an influence on the actual policies, so we try to have an influence on the actual outcome of UN resolutions.
So for how many years have you been doing this? Is it your first time? Or?
This is my third year. My first year I was a participant. Last year I was a coordinator, and this year I'm executive committee and the president of Youth Assembly.
Mm-hmm. And this is my fourth year, and I'll be going to my second year as chairperson of this board of the executive committee.